Alright, Allison, you've asked me to answer 6 questions, and that's what I'm going to do. Here we go. Tell us about your first kiss. Well, since you asked, I like to consider that I have 2 first kisses because the first one's so traumatic, I don't even consider it a kiss. The first one was in 8th grade. I had been dating this young chap, Mark, for probably like 6 months or so, and I've never been kissed. And I'm a slight romantic, I guess, and I want it to be like fireworks, like perfect, you know? And all my friends made fun of me because they had been making out with their boyfriends for the past like 2 years, and I was like, eh. But I was 14, and that's pretty important. I mean, it's a big deal, so I imagine like it being perfect. But to get to the point, the first experience I will call the lick. And the reason I call it that is precisely because I was licked. I went to the garage with we were hanging out at Katie's house. Me, Katie, and then our 2 boyfriends who were also best friends. And they went out there, and we were outside waiting for them to get a ride to go home, and Mark told me to come into the garage with him, and I'm like, okay, he likes me, really obnoxious stuff. Anyway, yeah, I went in there, and I gave him a hug, and he's like, he kind of just like looked at me, and like, if you can imagine like a snake striking, that's almost exactly what he did. He like pulled back and smiled, and all of a sudden he just came in. And I saw the corner of my eye, like, as he was coming, I saw his tongue, like this, outside of his mouth. And so then I realized, like a split second before it happened, that he was going to try to kiss me. So, obviously, I turned my head away. So, I basically got licked from right here to here. It's painful. It hurts my soul just a tad bit. So yeah, that was the first experience with that. But I won't call that my actual kiss. I suppose my first actual kiss, not just like, something my dog would give me, look at my face, was with my longtime boyfriend, Noah. And it was his first kiss too. And unlike Mark, who, Mark is a very good guy, still a good friend, but I really, really liked Noah. And, the fact that I knew he hadn't had a first kiss and he liked me dose, I just, I thought it might, might happen. And so, we were actually at church, not during the day, mind you, like late at night, that sounds worse, at youth group, walking around, there's a bonfire outside, and, we kind of like been holding hands and being all sweet to each other and like looking at each other and giggling, looking away, freshman stuff. And, we ended up sitting down and looking at the stars, and he pretty much frankly, like, asked me, he's like, can I kiss you? And I was like, because you gotta remember, like, my last experience with a kiss had not been so good. But I really liked him, so I said yes, and he was so, like, nervous about it. And I would, like, I closed my eyes, lean in, but I looked up, and I saw him coming at me, and he was just like, and I started like laughing, which I'm sure boosted his confidence. But anyway, next thing I knew, he was kissing my teeth. Because I was smiling, and he had his eyes closed coming at me, and yeah, anyway, at some point our lips actually grazed, and that was my first kiss, so I hope you feel as awkward as I feel telling it. Okay, so this is probably the most expensive casual clothing item that I've ever bought. And yeah, it's a leather jacket, and I obviously wear it all the time, as you know. I'm pretty sure the only time it's actually been worn outside the house, which makes me sound so terrible, I know it is when you wore it for your Buffy costume last Halloween. I'm a bad person. Okay, so the first job I ever wanted as a kid. I didn't necessarily want a job, per se, but I definitely wanted to be an adventurer. Like, you know, like in Tarzan, Jane, you know, out in the wild, or like Pocahontas. I just wanted to like experience something really crazy. And for some reason I just thought I could be an adventurer. But yeah, I'd say that was my first career choice. And of course after that would be famous singer and dancer and fashion model. So yeah, you can tell when the dreams start going down the tube. Yeah. Who were my group of school friends? Well, in high school, my group of school friends were actually just one group plus you. And then you became part of that group. The group was all, for the most part, was music involved. People basically, like I'd met them through like doing like stuff with solo ensemble and choir, and then in marching band and just in like this group, obviously because you're slightly included in it, was really involved in nerdy things. They all loved Harry Potter, minus Faith, but she loves Jesus, so it's okay. It's kind of terrible, but I don't know. Like I stuck to a pretty narrow group, and then I made some friends at youth group. But as far as in high school, I stuck with the same group of maybe like 6 or 7 people. You know, like Kyle, Chloe, Michelle, Faith, Brittany, you, Charnel got added in there. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. I don't know who I'm forgetting. I'm not a bad friend. Faith, did I say Faith? Yeah. And yeah, then just group from church. Kept it pretty simple. Worked out nice for me. So assuming that I procreate, you know, have children, I've got a few names I kind of like. For girls, I definitely want, I don't definitely want, but I'm thinking about Molly, Tally, and Eve, which would be, like, call her short Evie. I think that's really cute. And then for guys, there's so many possibilities. Probably David, Nathaniel, Asher, because I think it means happiness in the Old Testament. I really like that name. And yeah, I'm sure there's another one. Oh, I've always juggled with the idea of naming my kid Anakin from Star Wars, but feel like they may be teased. And last of all, who do I want to answer this survey? I would definitely like any of my group of friends to answer it. And you already answered, Allison, so I guess that cuts you out of the running. And yeah. Anyone who finds this. Okay, bye.